Doesn't get any easier after 25 years.
No.
Tom Williams still thinks about his murdered 24-year-old daughter, Julie, every day. Still thinks about the last time he saw her, Easter, 1996.
So that was April, and within 60 days, she was dead.
Investigators found the nude, bound, and gagged bodies of Julie Williams and her partner Lolly Winans just off the Appalachian Trail in Shenandoah National Park. A year later, police arrested Daryl Rice for attempting to abduct another woman, a bicyclist, in the same area of the park. 5 years after that, a grand jury indicted Rice in the murders of Julie and Lolly.
Daryl Rice is, pretty much a hot mess.
But lawyer and UVA Innocence Project founder Deirdre ENRIGHT says Rice was incapable of murdering the two women.
He wasn't able to get a woman off a bike, and she threw a soda at him.
And sure enough, by 2004, federal prosecutors were forced to drop the murder charges against Rice. Hair and DNA evidence found at the scene did not match his.
There's male DNA on the gag in Julie's mouth. There's hairs under the duct tape. They weren't Daryl Rice's.
ENRIGHT has an alternative suspect, Richard Mark Ivanitz. Police do say Ivanitz was a serial killer, a man who abducted little girls from their porches after school. Police say Ivanitz murdered Katie and Kristen Lisk, 12 and 15, and Sophia Silva, 16, all the same year Julie and Lolly were killed, and not far away in Spotsylvania County. DNA at the scene in the park does not rule Ivanitz out, but he killed himself as police closed in.
Richard Mark Ivanitz killed people. He told his sister right before he killed himself, "I killed more people than I can remember." That's not 3.
Daryl Rice's lawyers first pointed to Ivanitz as the real killer almost 20 years ago. At the time, prosecutors called that argument specious, said there is not one scintilla of evidence to support it. That was just before they dropped the case against Rice.
What do you make of Rice's attorney's suggestions that this other guy did it?
I think it's a ruse.
I miss her a lot.
Deirdre ENRIGHT has some unusual allies. Harley and Sadie Showalter, whose own daughter, Alicia, was murdered the same month as Julie and Lolly by a killer dubbed the Route 29 Stalker. Alicia's murder has also never been solved. Sadie says she asked investigators a year ago if they'd looked at Ivanitz. They blew that off.
They blew it off, and they again said, Daryl David Rice. I mean, we're just not finished with him yet.
The Showalters want the evidence retested using DNA analysis that has improved dramatically in the last quarter century. You think the answers lie in that lab at Quantico?
Yeah, they absolutely do. You test the evidence. And then you say I'm wrong.
We've asked the FBI repeatedly, and all we've gotten back is silence. In Shenandoah National Park, Bruce LeShan, WUSA 9.